Record progress.
So as of now, the grid control is added in the form. Now we need to add data into the grid, and for that we need JavaScript. So what we need to do is we have to select the form. So we got the form generating macro. Then so we need to define the name. So what is the name? We are going to have like EMPL grade load API. Sorry. So what we need to do is we need to make a copy. So I'll go to my drive under the Neil folder. Okay. So we are going to give the EMPL grid load API JS FNS. Okay. That is the PHP name we are going to define, so that we will give in the name of the Excel also. So this Excel is not required, we will close this. And now I need to give the name here, same name, grade, sorry, employee grade load API jsfns.php. Okay. So the API is given. Now that's it. So by default it is 5, because 5 means JavaScript, and no include file is required, no title, nothing is required. We can directly go to the JavaScript, JS. So JS function. So first you have to enable the JS function, true. Then function name to be defined. So what is the function name? Is a grade. We'll put employee grade. Grade load API. Okay. So that is the function name. Done. Okay. Now the remaining things. I need to have the main tag name. So I'm just declaring the API part. There are two things. One is main tag name and the other one is the server path. So let me define the server path also. So 65.2.19.186 done, and AP is as it is. We are currently working on stud, and after that delete. Now we need to give LM. That is the initial followed by ATI. Okay, .php. So the path is correct. Given. Now I need the main tag. So main tag we have to select.
Recording in progress.
So let me open the table for report. So here already a report is defined. We will make use of the report. So list of employee report is already there. So we are going to make use of the. So I'll copy the main tag and put it in the JavaScript function. Okay. So main tag is replaced, and server path is also defined. Now we need to call function flag. So let us put employee grade. Okay. So the name, same name should be adapted for call universal procedure also. Okay. Okay, employee grade, right. So the remaining things are same. So what I'll change, we have changed the function name, server path, main tag, and the call function flag, and similarly call universal procedure name. Okay. All things are done. Now we will come down. So there are two assign object. So one is assign object, general assign object. This is for text boxes or any kind of object in the main form. And there is one more assign object for table control that we need to use because you are assigning value to the table control. So you should use this particular option only. So I need to make true so that we should know whether we are going to do for a grid. If we are going to do for a grid, I mean, you are going to use the JavaScript for the grid, then you have to enable the table control. That is the procedure. Okay. And you would remember that we have enabled assign form object true for drop down. Okay. Because drop down is a main form object. Whereas grid is a table control. So we have enabled the table control here. That's a difference. Okay. Now, what is a table control name? It is asking for the table control name that we need to define. So where do you know the table control name? That is already in the grid. Control G, table control. Okay, so which we have already defined. So the table control name is employee grid table, right? You have to copy paste here and column delete row and column add row. All these provisions already made here, we need to copy. So first one is delete. I copy delete and similarly I'll copy add also. Okay. Now I need to fill the first text object. Okay, that we will come down. We first let us put the objects, then we will decide what is the first text object. Okay, come down. So this part is API part which is not required, that we will discuss in the future. So whenever required. So the main assign option is starts here, the table name. Okay. What is the table name from which the API has to be fetched? Okay. So for that, you should know the API. Just a minute. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call the API to get the values. Okay. So what is the initial, I mean, base initial is 2 and initial name is LM, correct? Okay, AT is correct, then call API. So this is not required. Okay. So now you got the data. Now let me populate this. I think we have already kept this open. Yeah, the data is here. Okay. So what is the table name here? Table name is list employee. This is very important. I mean, whenever we are working with the form, we need to only refer to the API result. We should not think about the database or table name here. So the table name, database are referred to the API only. So that subject is over. Now we need to only think about the table name that is referred in the API result. So list employee is a table name which we need to specify here. Okay. So I'll go to JavaScript function. Here the table name is list employee. And form object name and form object type, all those information we need to give. Okay, what is the form object name here refers to is, let us go to the grid. Now I'm going to fill the data for employee name. Okay, so employee name is the form object. For that I need to fill the details. Okay, before getting into this one, let me see the form object in the form. So understand what is the form object name is. So to know the column name, see, there are already you know that we are specified in the grid. No doubt. Okay, you go to Control J, table control. So you know the column name is first column name is employee name, because you only give these details. Join date, all those informations are there. But really I want to know from the form what is the column name. So I'll right click on this, inspect. Okay. When you inspect, you would get the name. So what is the column name? EMP name. And you find something new is called one. Okay. So what this one refers to is, it is the row identity of the particular row. Okay. Okay. We'll see this in detail after filling the data. Okay. Now, as of now, the column name is EMP underscore name 1. Okay. Let me go and fill it up. But the one is row identity, so that we need not specify. Okay. So we will directly go here. I'll go to the JavaScript function. Control J, JS. Okay. Now here, under the table control, I'm going to define the column names. Okay. So table name already given. Now I'm going to give the column name. So what is the column name? EMP name. Okay. Form object name and form object type. So that you need to refer to the list. So whether it's a text or DDL, whatever may be. So it is basically text. And what is the object name? So here, what is the object name we are getting from API? So Postman generally is a term used for API. So we are using that. So here object name refers to the API object name. So that you need to refer to the list we already taken. So what is the object name here? EMP name. Okay, copy and go to the thing and paste it. And what is the data type? Again, you can refer to the list. So data type is string, right? So string, right? That's all. So the first object column is defined and comma need to be should be specified, because this is there are more values need to be added. Okay. Now I'll copy this. Control C, Control V, delete this one. And now I need to duplicate this. Okay. Before duplication, let me add few more rows. So insert add row. Okay. Now I'll copy these. Control C. I just copied 4 or I think 4 will do. Already 2 have been given. So additional 4. We'll see how many columns required here. That based on the information, whatever we are going to specify. Okay. So joined date. Now that which is already specified there. Okay. Which is already specified in the grid. Only those information we need to fill. So what are the columns here need to be filled. So you cannot fill a column which is not in the grid. Okay, we are just going to fill the columns of the grid with the data using the API result. That's it. So join date. So join date is nothing but, so we'll collect the information from the API. So what is the API? API also join date. Okay. So go to the, now we will go to the grid. Here I am going to say join date, and it is a text. What is the type of data it is? Date and type. Okay. Okay. And even API object name is join date. Okay. what is the next column? Previous CTC. Okay. So previous CTC and the previous CTC also text. And what is the column? Decimal. Okay. And here also previous CTC object, API object name also is. Now here you need to specify the decimal value. So how many decimal column you need to display for the previous CTC? Let us put 2. Generally, previous CTC is amount. So which need to have 2 decimal places. Okay. And of course, you can put 0 also if you need not want to showcase any decimal places. That left to your choice. Then next part is, I'll go to the grade mobile. I'll come to grade mobile. So mobile also text, but what is the type? String? Of course, mobile. All right. Then what is left out is email. So again, email. It is string email. Okay. Now the last row is not required because up to email only the grid provision is provided. So we will delete. How to delete? You have to delete the whole row. That's it. Okay. Now the last comma to be removed because after that there is no object available. So it is removed. So what happened? So let me summarize from the beginning. So I took the table name table control name from the grid, whichever defined by you in the form, in the Excel form. Okay. That is employee grid table taken from here. Okay. Then similarly, add row function and delete row function also taken from that. Then now let us come to the first text object. Okay. To be specific. Come down and see what is the first text object. So the first text object of the given list is employee name. So which I need to specify here. Okay. MP name. Okay. Right. That's all. So that's the only thing need to be specified and followed by the table name and the other details. Column details are updated. Now I think everything is ready for us to generate the file. Okay. So let us go to the AU column. Okay. So I'll go to my local folder, create a file, text file. So what is the employee grade load API JS FNS? Okay, that's the file name. So 2024 08 02 1649. Okay. So the file is ready. The content to be replaced. So updated. Open in the notepad. Control V. Even the JSON copied. Now we have to move in the files now. Okay. So let us refresh. So the file is here. I need to move to the Sai folder. Okay. So click here. Enter. Okay. So the employee grid file is updated here. So now refresh. Let us see whether the file is generated. Yes, the file is generated. So now the file is generated. Now we will move this to our local folder. So the PHP is generated, and let us delete the text file not required. And we need to remove the timestamp from the file. So let me delete all those things without .php to be added. Okay. So EMPL grid load API JS function. Okay. So you check whether the file name is right with respect to the Excel, because that is very important. Whatever we need to specify in the Excel, that need to be so we checked with the file name. It is same as what we specified here. So that should be cross-verified. So that is very important. If it changes, then it becomes identifying the problem will be little complex. So that we need to check once and twice. Okay. The file is ready. We need to, okay. And one more thing we need to do is the file name should be included in the include file. Correct. What we did for the for the drop down. Okay. The same thing we did for the drop down of the employee add. Correct. So we need to include in the grid include file. So let me open that. Okay. So include. Now what is the file is required here? We'll put. Oh. Okay. So that file is included. So what is the purpose of this? It is very clearly said in the previous video also. The file is physically outside, logically inside. That's the concept behind the include. Okay. Right. So we have included for the logical calculation of the whole process. Okay. Now we need to copy these two files to the student folder. Okay. And one more thing. Okay. Number one, see, what are the steps? Let me define the steps. Okay. So that you will understand what are the steps required in the defining a JavaScript. So number one, created a grid form. Okay. Number two, created a API to list grid information. Okay. Number three, created a JavaScript file, okay, to populate the API information API information into the grid columns. Okay. So create a JavaScript file to populate the API information into the grid column. Right. So this is. Then fourth is include the include the JavaScript file into in the include file. File of grid. Okay. So that is the fourth step. So what we need to do, we have to specify the JavaScript file in the include file. So what happened? What is the purpose behind the file is physically outside, but logically inside. So that is the purpose of the inclusion. Okay, include file. So once the include file is added, then fifth point. Okay. So include the JavaScript file in the include file of grid. Okay. So the fifth point is enable load function of grid so that enable the of grid with the function of with the JavaScript function with the JavaScript function. So what it really does? So enable onload. Okay, let me put enable onload function of grid with the JavaScript function. So what really happened? The onload function calls the function JavaScript function when once the form is uploaded. Okay, so that is the purpose of this onload function. So okay, so I need to call the JavaScript file in the onload. So that is the purpose in the grid. Okay. Okay. Number 6. So what all to be generated as PHP? PHP generations to be generated are number 1, employee grid. Okay. Dot PHP. Number 2, that is B, EMPL grade load API JSFLS. So both the file has to be generated. Number 7, PHP to be copied to the stud folder. Okay. So what are that? A will copy this as it is because both the file has to be copied. Okay. Then C is include file. So EMPL grade underscore fns.php. Okay. So these are the changes required to be adapted whenever a grid is populated, need to be populated with the API information. Okay. So created a grid form. Okay. Created an API. All right. It should be an API. Okay. Created an API to list grid information. Created a JavaScript file to populate the API information into the grid. Okay. So what is the grid form? We will put the name also here, EMPL underscore grid.php. And what is the JavaScript file name? We'll just copy Okay. And include the JavaScript file in the include file of the grid. Grid. So what is that one? What is the file name is? Here it is. Okay. So we need to include the JavaScript file name, the JavaScript file name. Okay. Let us put that name. Okay. The JavaScript file name in the include file of grid. Okay. So what will happen after that? The file is physically outside, but logically inside. Okay. That is the purpose of the include. Okay. Enable onload function of grid with the JavaScript function. Okay. What is a JavaScript function? The JavaScript function is defined in the EMPL grid load API function. So that we will see. So let me put the name also here so that you will get a clear idea of that. So let me go here. I am under the JavaScript. Let me control J, JS. So what is the function name you are given? Employee grid load API. So this is a function we have given. So this function need to be called here. So enable load function of grid with the JavaScript function. So what is the JavaScript function? Let me specify. So the JavaScript function is this one. Okay. So generally the JavaScript function should start and end with a open bracket and close bracket. Sometimes it comes with parameter also, that we will see in the later stage. Okay. As of now, no parameter is required. Okay. Right. So enable onload function of grid, which so that we are going to do now. Okay. So for all this up to step 4 we have completed. Okay. Up to inclusion of the file is done. Correct. So you could see in the include file. So this include file. So the include file is added. Okay. So up to this point is 4 is completed. Now we are working on the 5. So for that we need to go to the grid. I'll put control J, load. So add parameter load function is here, that we need to select. Now under that we need to specify the function name. So what is the function name? It is in the grid. So the function name is employee grid load API, EMPL grid load API. So I need to paste this one, and of course you need to put open bracket and close bracket, right? So the function, the API is called. Okay. So up to this is okay. So what is next step? Generating the PHP. So that is the next step. So the already the JavaScript function has been generated. Now we are going to generate the grid because we made some alteration. Just now we add load function. Okay. So I'll go to the AU column, copy, go to my local folder, click here. Okay, I'll create a text file. So EMPL grade 2024 0802 1706. Okay, so the text file is ready. I need to copy the JSON into the text file. So I'll open the Notepad++, Control V, Control S, Control W. So it is ready for generation. So what we will go to the FileZilla. Okay, the file is here. So let me put it in the Sai folder. So I'll upload in the Sai folder. So the file is generated. PHP file is ready for us to upload. So we'll download back to the local folder and make necessary changes. Delete the text file, not required, and remove the timestamp. So I delete the timestamp. Okay. So the file is ready. Okay. So the already there is one file is there. So we need to delete that one before going ahead. So let me delete this one. Okay. Then now change again. Okay. So the file is ready. So what we'll do, the include file is ready. The API JavaScript function file is ready, include file and the grid. All the three file is ready. Now we will move on to the stud folder. Move this three file, copy this all the three to the stud folder. Okay. We need to override. Okay. Okay. And okay. So all the file has been copied to the stud folder. Now we need to test. Okay. So let us check that. Once you refresh, the data is available. So whatever there in the API is listed out in the grid. So that's it. So the purpose of the particular thing is been done. The grid is populated with the API data. Okay. So now we'll come back to the list of operation need to be done. So created a grid form empl-grid.php, okay, with necessary columns, and created an API to list the grid information, which is already there. Okay. Created a JavaScript file to populate the API information into the grid column. So employee grid load API function.php, which is the JavaScript file we have created, and include the JavaScript file name in the include file of the grid. That name of the file is employee grid include fns.php. The file is physically outside, but logically inside. Okay. So that means the JavaScript file is included in the include file means that is joined with the system. Okay. Enable onload function of the grid with the JavaScript function name. So the JavaScript function name is nothing but whatever you have declared in the JavaScript file. Okay. So that, I mean, JavaScript Excel that we have specified, and PHP to be generated or employee grid and employee grid load API.js function. Then finally, the PHP to be copied to the stud folder, all these three files. So once this is done, your whole task is completed. Fine. So hope you understood. Follow this file. We'll see in the next video.